If you want to step up the way that you talk to your customers, one great way to do that is through video and photography, and writing as well. We get lots of people asking, what's the process? What can I expect? I think there are 5 key things to think about when you start a project. One is, the most importantly, is what your purpose is. So what's the whole point of what you're doing? Is it to reach your financial goals, make more sales? Is it to increase your brand engagement? Is it to improve your internal systems, like you might want better recruitment, or you want some induction videos, or whatever it is? You've really got to be clear on what that purpose is. Lots of times people come and they've got millions of ideas, and that's really great. We love those ideas, but you can stray away from what the total purpose is. And so you should really be creating things that drive towards that purpose and talking to the right target market. The second thing that's a really great place to start is, what are other people doing? So do a bit of R&D, do a bit of rip off and duplicate, see brands that you admire. They may be in your market, or they may even be your competition. But what are they doing that works? What are they trying to communicate with their audience, and how are they doing that? So find real tangible examples. Look for the style that they're using. Do you like it? Maybe you don't like it. Maybe you find a gap where you can do something slightly differently. So it's a really good way to build up a base of content that you can bring to someone and say, I really like this. And it will just get you on the right track from the start. The third thing, and this comes right back to your whole purpose of who you're trying to reach, is what platforms do you want to hit? What do you want to put your content on? Obviously, people talk a lot about social media. You know, something like Instagram, potentially people only have a few seconds that you've got to make a splash with someone. So you might do 15-second ads or 5-second ads or whatever it is. But there's still a place for longer form videos, and especially for people who are warm to you. So if you have a longer message, but perhaps that sits on your website, and that's because someone's Googled you and they're researching who they might use, and actually they know who you are and they just want to hear a bit more about your whole brand story and what you do. And they will sit through 1.5 minutes easily if they're invested and if they're looking at your product or service. So it's also really, really useful to figure out what platform you want to use if you know it from the get-go, because that will determine or help determine what kind of content you want to make. The fourth thing, really important, is figure out what your budget is, because you can come up with 1 million ideas and get really excited about them, but sometimes you're not going to want to invest that much money into your strategy. So have a conversation with whoever it is that you're working with and figure that out early on, and then potentially prioritize the stuff what's your most pressing issue, and then work on that and figure out a plan for the rest of the time. But you don't want to go down the line of all these creative ideas and getting excited, and then you don't really have a concept of how much that is going to cost. Before you start, maybe have a conversation with your team or internally and see, what am I really willing to spend? It might not be right now, it might be phased out over a year or something like that, but that's a really great tool to have to know what you can achieve. And the fifth and final thing is, how can you maximize absolutely everything you're doing to get the most out of your investment? So if you do a long form video, how can you pull snippets from that are going to be useful for social media, for those 15-second or 5-second social media clips? Could you use a video that you've created in a mail out? Could you attach a video in every proposal that you send out? Or, do you have customer testimonials that are similar to a job that you're applying for, or putting a quote in for, and have that attached? We did this similar job, check it out. All those things are ways that you can stretch everything you do. We believe that having a one and done video, lots of people just want this one video, I think there's a better way to do it, and that is to figure out on the shoot day, what other stuff can we do to maybe get 2 or 3 videos out of this one block of time that we're shooting. Just some other examples would be photography. Can you put it on your website? Can you put it on your social media? Can you do printed material? And just making a mental note of all those things that you're collecting, and don't just lose them after you've done them and use them for one thing. They may be useful for years and years to come, and you want to get the most out of your business investment. Marketing and social media and websites and all these industries, they can be kind of a little bit of a dark art. They can be a little bit daunting to most people who maybe don't do this every day. So just remember, you don't have to have all the answers. You can come with an idea, you can come with a purpose or a need for your business, and a professional creative production company should be able to support you through those. So again, matching your purpose with a bunch of solutions and just really helping you through that process. You don't have to remember all this, you don't have to have all the answers. That kind of comes through the process and working with a professional team. So it's really important to remember as well that you don't have to know all this stuff. A professional creative production agency or company should be able to help you through all of this. You can know what you want to achieve, and you might have some great ideas about what you want to achieve, and it's their job to really support you through that process and just make sure that they're always aiming towards your goals. And again, maximizing your investment and making sure that you do get a great return on investment, because that's what it's all about. The other thing that's really important, I think, is this process should be really fun. It should be really rewarding for your team if they don't mind getting in front of a camera, which some people do. But it should be a really cool way to show that you believe in your brand. It's nice to see your stuff out there in the wild and people interacting with it. So find someone that you trust to work with and just enjoy the process. It's a creative process, and sky's the limit. So enjoy.